first and foremost, I'm here with Amel. Where are you from? That has been actually one of my biggest questions for the longest. I know I did meet with you before Caesar introduced us, and I know you guys are like first gen here in the country.
Yeah.
So where are you from?
I'm originally from Bosnia, but
Nice.
it's a big question because like I was 3 months when I left Bosnia because of the war, and spent like a few months in Denmark. Then I spent like 6 years in Germany.
Wow.
The rest of my life here. So originally from Bosnia, man.
Originally from Bosnia, and you guys were like, so you specifically, obviously, I know your business partner is Christian. Are you both from Bosnia or?
He's from Lebanon.
Lebanon. Gotcha. For you guys both, specifically for yourself, how does it feel to be like first generation, like success here in the States?
I mean, it feels good, but I don't know. The first time I moved here, I was just like, there's no way a foreigner can make it in this country because I had the accent. I didn't articulate well. I didn't have the connections. And then just being able to prove myself wrong and prove that thought process wrong is a better feeling than saying, hey, like I made it. It was more so like a big win for myself.
No, 100%, man. One of the biggest things, like I love asking people is like, there was a pivot moment in your life that got you to where you are now. What was that big pivot moment for you? Like, did someone say, hey, like you're never gonna make it? Did someone like say, hey, like you're never gonna be successful? Like, what was that moment in your life that like took you to that next level?
So before I even started my business, being foreign, your parents force you to have a secure job. So I went down the medical route, and I didn't want to be a doctor because I didn't want to spend 15 years in school.
Yes.
So I was like, let me just get my nursing degree license and I'll be a nurse. It's a decent paying job.
Okay.
And then just like 2-3 years into that space, I was just like, I felt like I was in a box. I felt constrained. I was like, is this going to be the rest of my life until I retire?
Yes.
I looked around and I saw like 50-year-old nurses, and I was like, dude, I'm willing to risk everything so that this isn't the rest of my life. And I think that was the moment where I was like, I'll do whatever it takes at any risk to get out of this 9-to-5 job.
So during this time, your family has these specific goals and aspirations for you. Essentially, they're leading your life.
Yeah.
For you, like, how did that make you feel? Did you feel like that was a lot of pressure? Like, hey, I gotta make everyone happy? Or like, how were you feeling during that time?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is I wanted to make myself happy. And it's hard telling your parents, especially like foreign parents, because they're scared of risk, they're scared of a lot of things. And we tell them, hey, I plan on quitting my job, I'm gonna go all in on business. They're like, you sure you know what you're doing? And then even like into the business route where after 2-3 years, I was making decent money, but it wasn't crazy money.
Of course.
And my mom was like, dude, you're investing all this time into this business. You're not making that much money. Like, when are you gonna cut it off? Yes. And I just always knew that there was gonna be a tipping point in my business where all this was worth it. So even your loved ones don't really see the big vision, and that's okay. And I respect their decision, but I had to respect my decision more than theirs. So I don't know, that was like another like part of my life where I was like, I love you, Mom, but I gotta do this for myself.
100%. I think one of the biggest things that, like, we're human, right? So we're emotional beings. For myself specifically, similar situation. I had a biomedical science opportunity at USF, like full ride, everything was paid for. I chose to bet on myself, and back in 2017 I said, you know what, I'm going to start my journey. What year was it for you that you're like, you know what, I'm going all in, I'm starting my journey?
That's funny because it was 2017 as well.
Oh, sweet, man. So you're 8 years. You're 8 years in. Yo, cheers to 8 years, man. Yeah. During this time, you obviously fell out with a lot of friends. You probably lost some great relationships with women. You probably had all these crazy obstacles. What made you during these times keep like looking forward down that tunnel at the dream that you wanted to pursue?
Okay. So I actually talk about this in my new book that I'm writing, and the biggest thing that I noticed was there's seasonality in a life, and sometimes you have to pull back from. So there's 5 types of wealth in life. There's financial wealth.
Yes.
There's time wealth. There's health wealth. There's social wealth, and then there's freedom wealth. And I think you need to ask yourself, which one of my wealths am I slacking in? So at that time I was broke, so it was definitely the wealth one.
Yes.
And you can't, you know how they say like live a balanced life? You can't balance all of them at once.
No, you can't.
But there's seasons. So like I had to pull back from my social wealth to invest into my financial wealth. So one big benefit I did have was actually leaving my friends and family behind in Jacksonville, because I grew up in Jax, and moving to Tampa. And here I wasn't obligated to see my family every weekend or like hang out with friends. So that allowed me to focus on my business. And luckily, when it comes to like the love relationships, I think that's the relationship that can really either make you or break you.
Yes, 100%.
And as soon as I moved to Tampa, I found my girl. I'm still with the same girl.
Oh, nice, bro.
And
nice.
It wasn't a distraction. It wasn't like, yo, I need to go out, I need to go party, I need to find girls and stuff like that. I could just focus on our weekends together, our night together. But during the day, like I was building my financial wealth.
Wow. Yeah, a lot of people, a lot of successful men that I come across, that's one of the biggest things that kind of like kill them is, hey, when I started this, I was with like my longtime girlfriend, my fiance, whatever the case. And hey, I'm year 3, year 4, year 5 in. I went broke 10, 15, 20, 30 times. I borrowed money from friends. I got loans. I lost my car. I lost my house, whatever the case may be. And like, she left. So a lot of guys go through that, man. That situation, I feel like it's very big. And a lot of people don't know how to handle that. Being in the situation you are in now financially, because you're on a whole nother level, how do you deal with that emotionally, mentally, knowing that you are the first generation person ever in your life to get to that level?
It's funny, man, because like I have friends that ask me like, yo, do your friends, like your other friends, resent you? Are they jealous? Like, does your family treat you different? And honestly, they don't. Like sometimes I ask myself, like, am I even like wealthy enough? Am I successful enough? Because like they don't treat me any different.
Yes.
And I'm happy with that, because like everyone's still doing their own thing. I don't feel like I need to take care of people. But the fact that I don't need to do it, and then when I do it, they truly appreciate it. And I think that's one part that like I truly appreciate, the fact that like I was able to change the projection of my family, is having the resources and allocations to guide our future. Yes. Because I think the biggest thing that I personally changed in life is options. And when you have wealth, you have options. Like if I want to live in Bosnia, if I want to live in Puerto Rico, if I want to buy a Lambo, if I want to buy, like I can choose what I want to do.
Yes. And
having that for my family members is very important, because coming from a war-torn country, we didn't have options.
Yes.
And when I went to, and I talk about this story all the time, when I used to go to the gas station, I used to want the Gatorade, but the Gatorade was like $3 and the water was like $1. And I didn't have options. I had to get the water because that's all I could truly afford.
Yeah, 100%, brother. I love this kind of like phrase or like scenario. I always tell people that I was fucking delusional when I began, right? And I feel like you have to have a hit of delusion in order to be successful. And what I mean by that is like, man, I was telling myself every single day, literally every single day, I'm successful, I'm a millionaire, I'm rich, I'm this, multiple different affirmations, right? I was driving in a Lamborghini in my visions way before I got into the Lamborghini, right? Do you feel like you went through that as well? Like I think that's a big process, like in the beginning stages of being an entrepreneur.
That's definitely interesting, because like some people like talk about the vision board.
Yes.
And people talk about law of attraction. The way I defined law of attraction is that you chase what you think about, and you notice things that you think about. So the fact that we thought about Lambos, the following questions were, how can I get a Lambo? What do I need to do? How much is the car payment? How do I make that car payment? How much is insurance? How do I make that? So you start thinking about these things, and then we like, okay, I need whatever, 5K a month extra. How can I get that 5K a month? Can I do a side business? Can I like get an extra client? And then you do that, and then you're like, okay, I can afford the Lambo. And I think that's the way like we achieve things like this, because when I was broke, I never thought about processes like that.
Of course.
I was like, I could never have a Lambo, and that was it. But now it's not like I'll never have it. Now it's like, how can I get it?
Exactly.
And then you start thinking about those things.
For where you are now, obviously you're in a phenomenal position. However, like you said earlier, there's always a higher high. What to you what do you see as like that higher high for you? Like, where do you see yourself in the next 5-10 years?
Filling out the other types of wealth that I'm slacking in. The thing with the American system is that the main focus is money, right? In Europe, the main focus is social wealth.
Yes.
Now, too much of anything isn't good anyways, because like in Bosnia, yeah, you have a lot of friends, but everyone's broke, right? Here, you have a lot of money, but you ain't got no friends.
Exactly.
So you need to like be able to call yourself out and understand when is your ego to focus on the money, and when are you starting to slack on the other parts of life? Because I just had my first daughter, and
man, congratulations.
Appreciate it, man.
Congratulations.
Everyone talks about like how like a kid changes your life. Yeah. And I never believed in that. I was like, bro, that's like a bullshit story. Yeah. But I feel like what it allowed me to do is step back and reevaluate my wealth and see where I was slacking. And I noticed that like I am slacking in the social part of my wealth, really like investing time into the family, the relationship, stuff like that. So to me, honestly, like after you cover your basic needs on wealth, like how much happier are you now that you have this Lambo? Say you have 5 more Lambos.
Yeah.
Are you truly that much happier, bro?
100%. 100%. No, you're at that point, you're looking at it like, hey, it's so interesting how numb I am to these vehicles. Dude, I hop into, the only thing that kind of gives me a high now as far as like exotics go is getting into like a newer, better, faster, more expensive. A few months. It's a few months. And you know, it's so crazy. I kid you not, man. It can get depression. It can get very depressing. A lot of people don't speak about that, and I love talking to other entrepreneurs as well. A lot of people, they'll tell you all the phenomenal things, the money, the cars, women, etc., but no one ever talks about like, hey, like this is lonely. Like, hey, I work 12, 15, 20 hours. Like, keep in mind, I don't know if I ever told you, but I'm also in real estate, and I flip houses, and I'm also into new construction development as well. And man, battling, wearing multiple hats on a daily basis is a lot. Luckily, like, thank God I have multiple different partners in like both of those businesses, so they can kind of take some of that stress off of myself. But man, it gets pretty depressing. It can become very depressing.
It's hard, man. And when I was trying to get out of the nursing career, I did everything possible, because I was like, if I can grab 2K here, 5K here, 10K here, it allows me to diversify. And the biggest thing I had to notice is hustling never gives you a point in life where you're going to be happy. You have to switch hustle to leverage.
Yes.
And that's when you start leveraging your relationships, your skills, your connections, stuff like that.
Yes.
To focus on one thing and scale that to a point where like it's running by itself. Like even Gentech right now, like we have 25 employees, like it's running by itself. But if I was still doing Turo, I know we talked about Turo before. Yeah. If I was still doing Turo and Airbnb and marketing and still like running the hospitals as like a nurse, bro, like I would have never got Gentech to where it is right now.
Super burned up. Speaking of Gentech, I want to ask you, obviously there's other people that are considered your competitors. Maybe you don't even see them as competitors.
Sure.
Like the other guys, right? For Gentech, what stands you guys away from all the other competition?
I think it's the narrow down focus of our services. What we focus on is lead generation, primarily ROI. Because at the end of the day, what we notice is you can offer many different services, but what business owners want is more money.
100%.
Right? So our biggest focus is like, we're not just running ads. Anyone can run ads. Like you can hire people in India to run ads for $100. You know, like how do you hire the right team to see where the leaking parts in your boat are so that you're generating an ROI? Because for example, like we can generate leads, but if your sales department isn't closing, you're not going to generate ROI anyways, right?
Absolutely, you're wasting time.
And then, because there's like 3% business, it's like the marketing, operations, and sales.
Yes.
And say like marketing and sales is good, but your operation is slacking and you're losing all your clients, you're still going to go out of business. And considering that we know like all these different attributes of the business, we can guide the business correctly. Because most people will say, well, I'm doing your ads, what do you want? You got your leads, it's not my fault you're not closing.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah, you guys figure it out.
Yeah.
Definitely makes sense.
Which I get it, but it's like if I tell someone you'll figure it out, they never do, they're gonna cancel. I don't want to lose clients. I want to keep clients on.
100%.
So we're 100%. Willing to go above and beyond for them.
100%. Yeah, you guys are actually, which is super crazy. You guys are like the #1 individuals, and for me, as I just see in the Tampa Bay area. Are you guys #1 throughout the state, through the country? Are you guys looking to be #1 in the state? Are you looking to be #1 in the country? Where are you guys looking at as far as the vision for GenTech?
I mean, what do you consider #1? You know, Google ranking.
The top guys.
Yeah, because there's obviously like companies that are bigger than us, maybe generate more revenue than us. In Tampa, I think we are definitely #1.
Yes.
In Florida, I feel like maybe we're top 3 in the U.S. There's some big dogs out there.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe US, I would say maybe top 50.
Okay.
But
okay,
the goal is just to like stay true to who we are and stay true to our clients. I don't care to have 1,000 clients. I care to have clients that truly see the vision of what we're doing and change their lives. Because a lot of these agencies grow because they're just chasing more money. Like, I just want to build a strong family. 100%. And if we add like little members here and there, I'm cool with that.
That's sweet, man. What is your guys' exit strategy? Is the goal to build the company up, turn it into like this big tech company and then sell? Or are you guys looking at just, hey, like this is getting passed down to my kids? What's the goal as far as that?
You know, whenever you look at like these big companies and they have kids, hardly ever is it passed down to their kids because their kids don't want to do it.
Sure.
Like, you never want to do what your parents do.
That's true.
Even though sometimes we're inspired by them. So I don't think it's ever going to get passed down to our kids, but I feel like it's one of those things that is true to who you are that you never really want to let go.
Yes.
We exited a company last year in the insurance space, and it was cool, but like when I sold it, I felt empty. But luckily I still had GenTech. GenTech is like the main thing. I feel like if I sold this, I'll feel truly like empty because if you don't wake up with like some kind of passion in the morning, I feel like life is kind of pointless.
Yeah.
So like obviously there's a number for everything. What we sell maybe, but like truly I want to keep it.
100%, as you should. Do you guys have any goals for like a specific revenue that you guys want to hit for 2025, 2026? Are you guys looking to scale in a specific type of way?
So a lot of people know us because of the insurance space. One of the guests that's supposed to be on the podcast too, Eric, was one of our big case studies where we took him from 0 to 4 mil a month in the insurance space. And a lot of other people in the same space saw what we did, so they kind of came into our ecosystem. But we want to expand into like the home improvement space. That's definitely a big vertical, because what we try to see is industries that are super outdated in the marketing space. Like insurance was always like ran by old people.
Yes.
Right? The rich, old, white people. And they were just running commercials and stuff like that. And we have new people in space that are completely changing it.
And social media.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what's fun for us. When it comes to revenue, I mean, we usually like, at the beginning of years, we used to double. It's hard to double every year when you get bigger.
Of course.
But 20-30% growth is what we chase for year over year.
That's good. That's good. If I were a young kid that was inspiring to follow in your path, what are like 3 things that you would give me?
I'm gonna reference my book again because I feel like a lot of this stuff I'm putting there because I see there's value in it.
Yes, 100%.
The first one is actually picking your character. You play GTA,
of course.
So you know there's multiple characters.
Of course.
People feel like they need to be the character that people kind of identify themselves as. For example, I was a foreign kid that was shy, that was tall and skinny, that didn't really mingle with people. That could have been my character. Right, nice kid, finished school, he was a nurse, Amel's a nice kid, whatever. And I was like, hold up, I don't like that character.
Of course.
I wanted settings and I changed my character. I was like, I want to be the guy that actually like is fit, makes money, is outspoken, is speaking on stages, knows the business, drives the like exotic cars. And that was the first step. It's like, okay, pick my character. Now, obviously you don't get everything right away as soon as you pick your character. So the second thing that I truly noticed is, people teach you on how to learn the skill sets and like kind of guide yourself to achieve your goals. But like, if I ask you this, say your goal was to learn Spanish,
Yes.
right? You could take classes, or you can move to a country that's like Mexico, where you're forced to learn Spanish because everyone around you speaks Spanish.
Yes.
So second thing is put yourself in the environment that you want to kind of absorb and become. So if you want to be a business owner, hang out with business owners. If you want to be a soccer player, you got to hang out with soccer players. If you want to be whatever you want to be, that's who you got to hang out with. And naturally, those conversations are different. Naturally, they put you in automatically. Because like, say like, you were just starting up, you're trying to get into business, and you hang out with business owners, and they're like, hey, by the way, I had this opportunity for you. Do you want to do it? And then the other guy's like, hey, I have this opportunity for you. Do you want to do it?
Yes.
So you're presenting these opportunities. And the third one is actually, when it comes to actually doing a good job, you got to learn skill sets. I think the biggest skill sets in life are communication. There's a lot of great leaders out there, but if they don't know how to communicate, they don't become leaders. Like if we look at Trump, the reason, whatever, whether you like him or you don't, he knows how to communicate.
100% does.
The second thing is being able to put yourself in the other person's shoes so that you understand how to pitch your ideas. Because a lot of times people talk about like, hey, I have this to offer you. Do you want my services? Do you want to do this? You got to understand where the other person's coming from so that you can position it in their favor for them to be like, all right, cool, let's do it. Because even to like get on a podcast, to, I don't know, like get a favor from someone, you got to position in their favor. If I just woke up and I want to talk to a billionaire and I'm like, I have a few questions, he's going to be like, nah, bro, I don't have time for it.
Of course.
But I'm like, hey, I noticed that you're looking to, I don't know, let's say like open up an office in Bosnia. I have a few ideas for you. These are like my tips. By the way, I have some questions for you as well. Right? He's more open for it.
Value add.
Exactly.
Very good.
So those would be my like three like big ones. Pick your character, change your environment, and learn the skill sets that will actually make a difference for you.
100%. Yeah, that's very good, man. There's a lot of people that want to know the how do I get started? And then it's also the other side of the ball, right? Where I'm going to kind of turn the question around and see what are some hardships that you've had that if you go back and tell your younger self, you'd say, hey, do this instead. Hey, don't do this. What are those hardships? What are 3 big hardships that you've had as a business owner that if you can go back and talk to yourself, you'd say?
I think the biggest one is actually like burning the boats sooner. So when I was starting Gentech, I was still in the medical field because I was still the foreigner that liked the safe side of life, where I was like, if Gentech fails, I still have my job.
Of course.
But when you're split in multiple directions, you never go all in on either. And when I say burn the boats, let go of everything that's not plan A. You can't like make plan A like truly scale unless you go all in.
Yeah.
So whatever like your goals are, there's safe ways to play. You don't need to like go crazy at it, but you gotta go all in. And it took me 3-4 years to go all in, and those 3 years compounded like cost me millions, right? Because right now, like if I had those 3 extra years, I would have compounded like a lot more.
Yes.
The second one is it's hard because I don't know, like you hear a lot of people say like I don't have any regrets.
Yeah.
And truly I feel like everything that happened to me, I feel like it happened for a reason. But if I had to like truly find the second and third one, it would be not letting go of the relationships that I did have before I started diving into business. There's still time for everything.
Yeah.
You know, having that one extra phone call with a family member for 15-20 minutes to check in, it doesn't kill you, but we don't prioritize it. And the third one, I'll primarily say it's following what society thinks you should be doing when you actually achieve something. I know you like asked like when I was starting up, but you know, when you start making money, you buy the Rolex, you buy the Lambo, you buy the luxury items.
Of course.
And I feel like at one point I sold it because I felt like they owned me, I didn't own them. So that's definitely like a big lesson that I realized.
Wow. Yeah, that's super big, man. I have one last question for you, right? You love exotic cars. what is your next exotic car and what is your dream exotic car?
Funny enough, I sold the Lambo and I got a G-Wagon, which a G-Wagon isn't like exotic.
Luxury.
Sure. Because I wanted something a little bit more comfortable.
Okay.
But I never owned a Ferrari. So I feel like I would want a Ferrari.
Okay.
I don't know which one.
488 Spider.
Yeah. The issue with the convertible Lambos is I can hardly fit in it. I can fit in it here because
Yes.
I scooted, but if I was driving, I couldn't fit.
Oh yeah.
That's why I didn't get a convertible initially.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, definitely something that's not hybrid or electric. Like I need to hear the engine.
100%. 100%. What is the dream car you have? Or is that still Ferrari for you?
Dream car would probably be like a Pagani or something like that. Just because I like the classic looks, something like unique. I would say something like that, like an art piece.
Yes. Pagani is a whole nother ballgame.
Yeah.
Now you're at not a supercar, you're in hyper cars. Yeah, that's super crazy. I love the Pagani. I'll be honest, man. For me, and I've seen a few, and I have buddies that have one and whatnot. I'm cool with a nice SVJ.
Oh yeah.
I love Lamborghinis. Nice SVJ. The pricing isn't too crazy. You're looking at possibly like $900, $1 million out the door.
Yeah.
It's going to appreciate. Obviously, the Pagani will appreciate as well, but I don't think I'd be able to drive the Pagani.
True. But the SVJ is definitely nice too.
Yeah, I wouldn't drive the Pagani at all.
Yeah,
It's
an art piece.
Yes, literally, that's it. Like I'd buy it and not even drive it. The SVJ, I'm gonna dog it down the street, on the track. I'm going crazy. Amel, I definitely appreciate you coming by, brother. This is an amazing conversation. I love that you gave us some insight into your personal life, into your relationships, into Gentech. I would love to do another sit down with you here in the future, brother, and see how your growth has escalated and see how I can also add value to you as well.
100%. You'll have to fly out to Bosnia because I'm moving to Bosnia in December. So the next podcast will be on me in Bosnia.
Hey, listen, I'd be down. I'm actually in love with traveling, so we can definitely do that, brother.
Hell yeah, bro.
Definitely appreciate your man.
I appreciate you for having me on, man.
Absolutely.